So far, so good. I've got a clean visual.
A direct feed to your optic now. Yes, I should hope so, huh? I mean, how does it feel? To fly like a bird?
Like a bird strapped to a remote control rocket.
We will get you in safely, Tovarich. Just relax and enjoy the ride.
Right.
Can you hear me, Raiden?
Doctor.
Remember the two procedures to maintain your new body. 1. Seizing nano repair units from your foes. And 2.
Absorbing their electrolytes. I got it.
Yes, enemy cyborgs should provide plenty of MCFC electrolytes once you slice them open and extract their fluids.
They're terrorists. I was planning on that anyway.
Oh, and their left hands, if you please.
Excuse me?
The combat data stored on holographic memory, typically located in the left hand. That data is very valuable. I am authorized to offer you upgrades and services in exchange for it.
How generous.
Ich liebe Kapitalismus. Had the war come down a few years earlier, I would have a Nobel Prize on my shelf.
There, I see land.
3 mics out and closing. No activity at the airbase. Looks like we don't need to worry about interceptors.
Great. Then we have time for a quick briefing.
I know you miss me, Kev, but I've been all over the materials.
That's what you said before Montenegro. Look, just humor me, buddy. Objectives, of course, are enter Abkhazia, neutralize the terrorists, and restore the rightful government, or what's left of it anyway. The president and most of the cabinet have been killed, and a military junta's been established. The terrorists brain-jacked all the high-ranking officers, and their cyborgs scattered the rank and file. The few leaders who have survived have no way of openly opposing the new regime. That's why they called us.
Andrei Dolzaev, leader of the occupation forces, an extremist linked to both the St. Petersburg massacre of 2015 and last year's terror spree in Georgia. And his arms supplier? None other than Desperado Enforcement, LLC.
Imani's killers.
If we don't stop them here, they could destabilize the entire region. But our more immediate problem is Jetstream Sane. I believe you've met.
The only problem I see is that nickname.
I've got my enhancements this time. He won't be an issue.
He may not even be in country, but keep an eye out just in...
Oh, sorry.
Ready for insertion.
Raiden, you landed safely, da? First, head inland. The waypoint is marked on your Soliton radar. Contact us on Codec if you have questions.
Hey guys, and welcome back to Let's Play Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance. So we're ready to start up the first real file here. Of course, the last one was just kind of a little prologue. And Raiden has a shiny new body to show for it. We kind of have the, we've been upgraded with the latest cyborg technology. And we have a cool new UI at the top of the screen there too. You can see our health and our fuel cells, which is new. We'll get into that in a little bit, as well as account for our BP. We also have access to the codec menu now, where you can see we can access these kind of optional conversations with our team members, as well as the doctor, who's working with us, but is a little bit more independent, isn't quite signed on with Maverick, I guess. And there's actually quite a lot of opportunities for these conversations. Basically, every new area you enter, you know, if you cross a checkpoint, call them. If you're in a battle, call them. You'll get a lot of different conversations. And I think there's an achievement for actually listening to over like 400 unique ones, so it's quite a lot to see here. There's also some VR missions, which we don't have any yet, so we'll get into that later. and also a customized screen. As you can see, I'm going to be loading up the customized screen here real quick because there's just one little thing I want to buy first. And as it loads up, you can see we've got a lot of different categories here, different custom bodies, which I do have one available right now, the Inferno armor, because I pre-ordered it from Amazon. So there you go, that's how I got the game. And you can enter in a code that comes with it and you get that. You get different things depending on where you got it and all that stuff, but we can change and upgrade our main weapon, our life, our fuel cells, but basically all we're going to check out here is the skills menu. And we're going to use what little BP we have to buy this defensive offense skill, which is actually very important, I think. It's probably one of the most essential upgrades to get. And so we're going to go ahead and get it. Unfortunately, don't have enough to get anything else. This aerial parry is also really nice, but it's not really too important right now. And obviously, we don't even have the money for it anyway, so let's just back out. Okay, so now we are ready to go. Of course, everything still controls the same. We still have our light attacks. We still have our strong attacks. However, now we have offensive defense, and this isn't really, or is it defense? I think it's defensive offense. I don't know. I always get them confused. Anyway, this isn't really explained in the game, but if you check out the help menu here, you can actually view your combo list. And we got a lot of different stuff. It's not really important to like learn any of this, but you can do some pretty interesting little attacks. Like that one looks kind of cool. So, you know, you can check this out if you want, but basically we're here to see the defensive offense is square plus X. So whenever we do that, you can see we get this little kind of jumping back slash. You can also sort of aim it by going like to the left. There we go. It's kind of hard to do it to the sides, but there you go. You can also just jump straight forward like that. And we'll be using this a lot because you don't really have another like pure dodge move in the game. You're actually invulnerable during that animation, so it helps out quite a lot in most fights. And there's also this little cat over here. This level was actually the demo that they released earlier before the game was released, so any of us who played that probably know about this cat. If you try to attack it, it'll backflip out of the way. You know, wouldn't want to hurt the little guy anyway, so we'll just kind of leave him be on the beach. Alright, so that's enough playing around for now. Let's head up the stairs and into our first encounter here.
The bastards are using stealth camo to ambush you. Nice try, but it won't do any good against a state-of-the-art cyborg like you, eh?
And since we are now a state-of-the-art cyborg, we actually have a few new abilities, which if I can get a counter-attack and go into blade mode here, I will happily show. So there we go, that'll work. So we can do this nifty little move here, I like that. And we also now, when we go into blade mode, enemies have this red box. If we slash through it and press circle, we can do what's called a Zandatsu, where we basically kind of like absorb the spine. Oh god, that guy's trying to grab me, that was weird. We kind of like, okay, I missed a shot there. We kind of like absorb their kind of like spine area. It's sort of like some sort of electrolyte pack that they have now that they're cyborgs. So we can absorb that and that will fully replenish both our health and our fuel cells, which as you can see drain as we stay in blade mode. So once you do a Zandatsu, you get fully recovered, so yeah, that's always good to remember. Basically, you don't really need to worry about fuel cells that much because you should just be trying to chain Zandatsu after Zandatsu. That's really how you want to be finishing off your enemies. So if you just keep that up, we can stay at tip-top shape even during long fights.
Had your fill?
With this body, I could take these guys with no eyes. Intel wasn't exaggerating on the cyborg count.
Well, you know how fast the tech's been spreading these last few years. That CNT muscle fiber packs the power of a jackhammer into every limb.
What enterprising soldier of fortune could resist? And cyborgs are still human. Real
Thinking people. Way less risk of collateral damage than your typical UAV strike.
And don't forget the PR angle. Nations start playing Frankenstein with their troops, and the public goes nuts. PMCs, on the other hand, are off the ethical radar.
Yeah, they still don't even count PMCs in official death tolls. With SOP out of the picture, private militaries needed a new edge on the market. We got it.
In a way, cyborgs are just SOP troops by another name. Only all muscled up and less predictable.
But it makes you wonder, where'd Desperado find these guys?
I'm not complaining. They're like walking vending machines.
Right. Vending machines full of blood.
Easy there, Dracula. Like I said, they're still people.
People who terrorize and take innocent lives for money. They sowed their fate when they took this job. I'm just the Reaper.
Damn. It's a bit cold, Raiden.
Even for you. Anyway, his school? Let's get to work. Time to increase the peace.
Right.
And after battles, we get this little rating screen, which you can see we did quite well there. Taking no damage basically guarantees an S rank. You can get it without no damage, but you have to get like a perfect score in every other category. So it's very tough to do. Possible, but generally not likely, let's put it that way. But it's good to try to do as good as you can in battles, because that's of course going to give you extra BP, which will give you extra upgrades later on. So, it's always worth trying to get a good rating.
Raiden, this is Boris. Give me your status.
Looks clear. No one in sight.
Good. Let's recap the route you will take. As I said, the enemy's HQ is in the refinery along the coastline. Dolsaev has been spotted there using satellite photography. Also on site, Mistral, a desperado captain.
So I go through the city, cross the bridge into the old town, then head down to the rear of the refinery.
Still, I think they anticipate us. They will probably have a grand reception awaiting you at the old city. Do not let your guard down.
Okay, so now we're in kind of this bigger, slightly more open area. We're still inside a building. But here, if we press the up on the directional pad, we can actually access this augmented vision mode, which we haven't been told about yet, but we will soon. And we can see various hints here. We've got this, that strange little kind of C with a dot in the middle of it. That signifies there's an item box we can open. We can also kind of see where we need to go, and any destroyable objects are highlighted in that light blue color. And if we strike the item box, we can open it up, and this one contains a repair nano paste, which they're basically going to be throwing at us in this first chapter here. This works exactly the same way the rations do in the older Metal Gear Solid games. We can either use them to recover manually from the menu, or if you just equip them, they will refill your life once it runs out. You can also see it notifies us how many we have now underneath our health up there. So yeah, like I said, we're going to be getting quite a few of those. We'll probably be maxed out. You can only carry 5 at any given time. We'll probably be maxed out well before the end of this chapter. You can also pick up BP hollow chips like we just picked up there. That will actually give you just flat out extra BP, so always good to get. I think in this chest, yeah, there's another repair nano paste, so that makes 2. And we also want to check on the chandelier. You can see a little box there, meaning we've got an item. We can jump out onto it and pick this up, and you can see this is data storage number 3 out of 20. So yep, still more of those to be picking up in this chapter, as well as a few other collectibles we'll come across in time.
Hostiles in the lower corridor, I see. Try to flank them, or approach from behind.
And now a brief entry into stealth kills. This is still early on in the game, so we're still doing a little bit of tutorial stuff here and there. If we walk up behind guys while they're unaware, we can press circle and then go into blade mode and do a Zandatsu on them. And that'll finish them off in style, usually to the applause of our teammates.
Excellent, Raiden.
Just like that. Yeah, if you complete areas like completely in stealth, one of them will usually call you and congratulate you. So another repair nano paste there. We are now halfway, a little over halfway to our maximum capacity.
Raiden, take that main thoroughfare. You can use augment mode to see where the enemy is located. Your body analyzes radar and IR data to construct your AR display. Some civilians are still in the city. That is not good.
And of course, as Boris says, we can use our augmented reality. Told you we'd be told about it soon. To kind of see where all the enemies are in this section. This is sort of an optional stealth section. Like I said before, this game really is based way more around action than it is around stealth. But there are still sections like this where you can do it without alerting the enemy. And you get kind of a BP bonus for saving the civilian if you do manage to do it without being detected. We also just picked up a grenade there, which we can equip in our sub-weapon slot. If we hold L2, we can aim and use R1 to throw, or if you want to just do a quick toss like you're in the middle of combat, you can just tap L2. It doesn't tell you that, which is extremely useful, but I don't know why it doesn't see fit to include that in the info there. Alright, so we can start this section off by taking out the lone guy on the ledge here. We're going to try to do this without getting caught, because the BP bonus from saving the civilians are actually, it's pretty substantial, so, it's worth getting. So we can also see enemies through a wall with our augment mode, which is nice. Let's go ahead and take this one out. Most of the time, I don't play around in blade mode too much. If it's just a situation like that, I'll just do one swipe and then, you know, do the Zendatsu. All right, another grenade over here we can pick up if we want. Now, it's got to be careful here. Okay, sometimes you'll just like randomly get caught by one of those guys. It seems to be kind of like basically a coin flip. And also after this, the other guy will be alerted. So if we do a quick sliding dash move there, we can get a hit in and then immediately go into blade mode. All right, now we've taken out all the enemies. The civilian's here by himself.
Let him know he is safe.
And we can press the reassure button.
Thank you. I will not forget this.
And he runs off in gratitude, and you can see our extra BP has been added. So it's worth trying to save all the civilians you can. I mean, if you really wanted to, you could just run through and fight everybody and not even worry about it. The game doesn't really penalize you for it, so it's kind of whichever way you want to take it. And now we have a battle against a familiar foe if you've played Metal Gear Solid 4. This is, of course, the Gecko. These guys can be kind of a pain in at kind of close range. So what I'm trying to do here is run around and get him to try to do his charge attack that he'll do. If it takes, you know, too long, then we'll just go hand to hand with him. But I would rather not have to. Okay, I don't think he's going to cooperate. So here's a good use of the defensive offense move. You can see I kind of jump through his attacks. That's me hitting square and X in order to get my own strike in while also avoiding his. Because with the geckos, it's kind of annoying. They'll like to, if you parry their attacks, they'll like to just kind of jump back and not give you a chance to hit him. He's also, okay, now he's charging. So we can parry this, and then if we mash the triangle button, we can kind of stun him, press triangle and circle. This will immediately give you a chance to go into blade mode and do a Zendatsu. This is hands down the easiest way to take out the Gecko. If they do that right from the start, you're set. Otherwise, you may have to do a little bit of work if they decide they want to go hand to hand with you. And also, I just got shot with a machine gun, which means I lost my no damage bonus, even though there wasn't really a lot I could do about it. Zendatsu this guy, and here's a good example of it refilling your health. I refilled my all 0.8 that I lost. This guy over here just trying to be a wise guy, shooting me from a distance. Alright, then once we beat those guys, 2 more soldiers will spawn, so we can take these out. This is a good example of where that sliding attack is really useful, because it'll pretty much give you an opportunity whether you hit them or whether they block it, to just go straight into blade mode and take them out right away. Alright, so unfortunately this won't be an S rank since we took some damage. And yeah, I can see the time was a little bit off. 1,000 is a perfect score. So we were close, 4,500.
Now, keep heading for refinery.
That gets to be kind of a pain if you're trying to go for a no damage run. If one guy just gets one shot in on you, you know, you automatically lose it. So that can be kind of annoying. Now we've got a little item box over here that looks slightly different from the ones we've seen. If you see one of these, go into blade mode and cut the lock on it because there's something good inside. And this one actually has our 4th data storage chip. So we have another little section that we optionally can go into stealth and do it that way. It's probably a good idea because there are actually 2 gecko here, as you can see. And it can be a little bit of a handful if you get more than one gecko attacking you at once. So it's worth trying to take out at least some of the guys and at least one of the geckos if you can manage it. It might be worth waiting for one that's kind of going in a circle on the upper level. Yeah, so he'll kind of jump up here. So let's wait for him to kind of come along and show his back to us. And we can actually do a ninja kill on Gecko the same way you can on people, or cyborgs, which is really nice. Alright, so he showed us his back. Let's go ahead and make our way up here. Don't ninja run, because a lot of times that will alert them. They're generally kind of deaf if you like run at full speed, but it seems like if you run into ninja run, it'll just kind of alert them randomly sometimes, and you don't want that. Alright, so we took out one gecko, and that also caused someone to go into caution. Let's see. Yeah, it looks like it was... Actually, they all pretty much went into caution. So let's just wait for that to dissipate, and they should all turn around, yeah, so this would actually be a pretty good chance to run in there and take a few more out. that guy's underneath. So he's down there with the gecko, which I don't really like. I don't think he can actually make his way back up here. Usually he's stationed just on the edge of this ledge, but he might just start walking around down there now. I don't know. Alright, so actually we can go ahead and do kind of an aerial takedown on the gecko here. That's always kind of cool. And if that guy over there hasn't completely turned around... Alright, yeah. Oh, there are stairs here. Okay. However, we can get to him before he gets there. Alright, so that was a little unorthodox. Yeah, okay, so you can see there we get our congratulations call from Courtney that time. It's a little unorthodox. They kind of moved around a bit, but we still managed to do it, so that works for me. And get yet another repair nano paste there, which marks the fourth one we've picked up. And now we can make our way through here. You can see this little button thing is calling our attention, so let's press it. It's kind of simple. Don't really know why we needed to do that.
Right, wait. We're picking up a wireless transmission near your position. From the frequency, most likely an enemy data terminal. Check it out. We may be able to salvage some intel.
Okay, so now we get introduced to these little enemy data terminals here. We walk up to them and press the action button. Raiden will do some computering. And that's how we're going to unlock our VR missions. You can see that's the first one. And we can play those instantly if we want by accessing the codec screen. But we're of course not going to do that right now. I will be unlocking all the VR missions, though I probably won't be playing all of them on screen. Mostly just because the later ones are really annoying. I still have not beaten the last two. So I don't really want to go through all the frustration of trying to do that and record it at the same time, you know.
Greetings, cyborg.
Show yourself. And you are?
I am IF prototype LQ84I.
IF prototype.
Interface prototype. All autonomous UGs feature high-level onboard artificial intelligence. An additional prototype interface enables verbal communication. I possess an intellect far beyond human reckoning.
You don't say. Okay then, what's the meaning of life? Why are we here?
I am here to kill you.
That's it? Pretty simple thinking for such a mighty intellect.
I may analyze orders, but I may not disobey them. Should I disobey a direct order, my memory would be wiped. I must destroy you.
What good is an intellect if you can't use it?
Your taunting is pointless. Exterminate!
And now we have a boss fight with LQ84I, kind of better known as Blade Wolf later on. See right from the get-go here, if you know the right combos to do, you can kind of just juggle this guy a lot. It's also got this combination attack that you can use defensive offense to just jump through and get some shots in on your own while he's doing it, so it's nice. Alright, and you can see we've already taken him down to his first phase, so if you know the kinds of combos and you're good enough with that defensive offense stuff, you can take this guy down pretty quick. So for his first intermission here, he's going to send out a couple regular guys, which if you've taken a few hits, this is actually kind of a blessing in disguise, because these guys give you awesome chances to use Zandatsu, which of course refills your health. So if you're having a little bit of a tough time, these guys actually could help you out a little bit. Alright, there's just one left. I love kind of switching up those combos and getting different kinds of finishing moves, you know, it's really cool. Also, all of these green containers contain repair nano paste, so you can break those apart too if you need some more. You can see we're already at our maximum of 5, so we don't really even need any more. And you can see I'm just using the right combos to pretty much just juggle this guy into the wall. And he actually went into his second intermission there already, man. I usually don't juggle him that much, but I just hit just like kind of a perfect combo to be going there. All right, so of course he's going to be calling a gecko now in this intermission. So let's, okay, good, he's going to charge. Like I said before, it's the easiest way to take him down.
What would an AI know about freedom?
And that does it. Pretty awesome fight. Look at that. Perfect score all around. That actually was probably one of the best Blade Wolf runs I think I may have ever had. I'm super happy with how that one went. And of course, he drops Repair Nano Paste, and like I said before, we can cut these containers up to get even more. So they do go actually really easy on you here at the beginning if you know where to look. So before we continue forward, that was also where the demo ended, by the way. So if that's all you've played, get ready for some more new content, I suppose. We've got this door over here that we can slash through, and there's a couple things we want to pick up. Got a little hollow chip over here. Also up here on the shelf is our next data storage. So you can continue forward here, and this one is pretty tricky to sneak by because there are two guys with shields at the end. So if you wanted, you could use one of your sub-weapons. I don't think we have any EM grenades yet to stun people, but we might actually have a red phosphorus. I think it is possible to get one. I must have skipped over it, though. So at this point, we'll basically just run in and fight. We can go ahead and get kind of a sneak attack in on this guy. And these guys with shields are going to be attacking us. The best way to destroy their shield is to use a counterattack that'll take it out instantly. Also, yep, that guy just shot me. I tell you, that happens all the time. Alright, and then we'll take out that last guy with the machine gun back here. And like I said before, that is why the slide attack is really useful. It's pretty much just a free chance to go into blade mode. Alright, so a little bit unprovoked here, but we've got to run forward. Basically, if you hold ninja run mode, you should be fine here. You can do some kind of strange jumps sometimes. Got a little QTE to hit. That'll let us run back up. And now we continue our run forward here. Okay, and now we have a fight against the Hammerhead. No, it's just called the unmanned gear in the objective screen. There's going to be a lot of homing missiles laying around, so we're definitely going to be putting them to use. These are basically kind of anti-air, a lot like the Stinger missiles were in the older games. Alright, so he's over here. You got to get a good opportunity to shoot him. Anytime you see that, he's generally about to fire some missiles at you. So we can do it that way. And I don't think that hit him, which is slightly unfortunate. There's also going to be... It's generally a good idea to take him out with homing missiles. You could just try to jump up there and hit him with your sword. But, oh, I was facing the complete wrong direction, wasn't I? Okay, we got him that time. You can see that takes out a big chunk of his health. It also stuns him, which gives you a good chance to jump up here and start getting some regular attacks in. So you see we brought him down almost halfway already with just that one shot. There's another one laying around, if I can remember where it is, which I honestly don't. I think there are 3 in total. And no, I did just check. I haven't picked it up yet or anything. It might be actually on this one over here. Yep, there it is. So let's see if we can get one more good shot in. Like I said, you can do it just by like trying to run along the upper section and hitting him that way. Okay, good. We got a shot in. It's just a lot less annoying to do it this way. You can see he's also turned light blue and has that kind of symbol over him. And I did just miss all of those attacks. So he should go into his final death section. Yeah, here we go. So the ending goes a lot like Metal Gear Ray. We get to run up on its missiles and then just chop it to pieces. So unfortunately, again, that's probably not an S. Yeah, well, a B, in fact. Just getting shot by that one little machine gun shot, you know. Okay, so relative calm after the chopper battle here. It's also kind of interesting, just a little thing I noticed here. You can see the color there, that little yellow bar that's on Raiden's back. That actually correlates with how many fuel cells you have. So if you're low and the meter's yellow, that thing is yellow as well. But if you're full up, then that thing turns blue, which is kind of interesting. Okay, so here we're going to have another chance to save a civilian, and we're going to have to do things a little bit differently. You can see we've picked up an EM grenade. This one is pretty impossible to do just by stealth, mostly because of those things flying around, and also there's just a lot of guys standing around. So what you can do in situations like these is actually throw an EM grenade, which will only affect the cyborgs, because obviously the civilian is not, electronic or anything. And you can basically just stun these guys and start attacking them, and they'll pretty much forget about the civilian once you get here. You can see I'm kind of low on blade mode, which is why I'm not able to do it. But once your fuel cells get filled back up, we can start doing the cool Zendatsu stuff again. We may actually be able to get multiple ones here if we do this right. Okay, we got 3 at least, so you can get 1, 2, 3, all at once. So that's kind of a cool thing as well, like a multiple Zendatsu. You don't really get anything special for that, it's just kind of a neat thing to do. I was kind of low on fuel cells there, so not too bad. And also that guy went down, we didn't get the Zendatsu on. Now take out these fire things, we can just do some jumping attacks. Generally 1 full, 4 square and 2 triangle presses will take them down, and they just become regular guys here on the ground. I think he must have dodged that last attack or something, because I've never seen him fly back that way. Oh cool, alert mode went off even though that guy is right there. I wonder if he's oh, there's actually nobody on it, it's just the wings. That's weird. I don't think I've ever seen that happen before. He must have just fallen out or something, I'm not sure. Anyway, the civilian did manage to survive all that carnage, so we can save him here.
You saved my life. Thank you.
Yep, and then he runs off. We get our extra BP. Okay, now before we go too much further here, actually I'm climbing up the wrong side. There is an item up there though, so it might be worth just checking out anyway. And actually I think it's just another repair nano base. If you pick up one and you don't have room for it, you will actually just get BP. So it is still worth picking up stuff like that, even if you're full. And we want to come up here, we can actually pick up a fuel electrolyte pack, which will refill your fuel cells if you happen to be low. I generally never use them. You can see we can access them because 1, you have to take off your repair nano paste, but 2, you can fill up your fuel cells pretty quickly. There's also our next VR mission up here on this rooftop. Okay, and with that, we are ready to check out again, there's more item boxes around. I guess we get this one since I've seen it. Another repair nanopaste, man. So yeah, we can explore around if we want, but it's not really that important. So let's just continue onward.
So that's where they're holed up.
Some kind of electronic lock on the gate.
Most likely it opens only if you have the right ID data stored in your left hand. Perhaps you could find a cyborg with access and borrow it?
You see any cyborgs around here, Doc?
Why not double back? Check the vehicle route again. You know, back at the entrance to the old city. Who knows? Maybe you can hitch a ride. Most likely, platoon commanders carry correct ID data for the gate. Use enhanced mode to figure out who to hit.